Okay.
So when a girl's dancing at Jack's, it's almost like it's free time for this dude to go up and do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And she can say no, and he doesn't care because whatever. And it's only until another male intervenes or whatever, or maybe her friends intervene that something happens.
Or I've got a boyfriend.
Right, but even that doesn't happen. Like, how many times do you hear your friends that are females say like, "I have a boyfriend," and he's like, "Well, your boyfriend's," or she's like, "Your boyfriend's not here." Well, at the same time, it's like just men need to learn basic respect, and men need to learn how to fuck off. Yes. Situation.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm seriously tired of seeing this downtown when you go out and you watch girls be attacked all night by men after men after men. It's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with finding a female attractive.
Sure.
If I go up to a female, I'm like, you are attractive, and she's like, well, I have a boyfriend. I'm gonna be like, you're fantastically attractive. Have a good night. Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Like, have a great night. I'm gonna walk the fuck away. Right. Like, I'm not gonna take her outside 50 yards away from the bar and try and do something that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
And you get into this, and again, I won't go to this now, but you look at the statistics in terms of law and what's now becoming unfounded. Now, I was telling Sean here, 1 in 5 sexual assault cases right now in London are claimed as unfounded.
Right.
And why? Well, you have sergeants say, well, how much are you drinking? What did you do? And and then you look at not even just that, but you look at when you look at what's happening in the States, and you actually have judges that are saying in open court, you should have kept your legs closed to prevent this assault. Right. And this is actually happening. Yeah. And you sit there and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with the world where you're telling someone who has no power over that, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think that shows that it's really clear that the legal definition of sexual assault needs to change.
I don't know if
in a way, though, right? Because I feel like these people, detectives who are investigating these sexual assaults, they have the victim, for I don't know if that's the proper word, in a room, and they ask all these questions, and it's like, well, you can't remember from here to here, and you can't remember what happened from here to here, and so we can't do anything. And it's like, okay, I get that, and in most situations that would be sufficient evidence, lack of evidence, to say, okay, we can't do anything with this. Yeah. But when you have all these other factors, well, I woke up behind a dumpster, right? And there was evidence of sexual assault on me, physical evidence. It's okay, well, sure, she couldn't actually see what was going on, and she can't actually visually prove that there was someone assaulting her, but all the evidence is there.
And I guess I agree with you 100%. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that what you're saying is incorrect. I would just take it a step further. We don't need to change the definition of sexual assault. We already know what sexual assault is. Yeah. I can tell you right now, if I was to touch someone that was unwanted, we know it's unwanted. Right. So I think what we need to stop doing is living in a chauvinistic society where we believe that men are correct all the time.
Sure.
Right. And that we think that when a woman wakes up behind a dumpster that nothing happened. Yeah. I mean, come on. We all know. And we all know what happened, and it just needs to change.
So, Little Miss Chris, is any of this hitting home with you? Have you ever felt, if I'm going into gray territory you don't want to answer, by all means. But this night it's about you. You're our woman crush, and we're kind of, not to take anything away from this, because I love to see men getting passionate about protecting women out there. So, ladies that are watching, always remember, know your limits when it comes to alcohol. Watch your drinks. And be safe, protect each other, because it's a fucking dangerous world out there, even in our own city of London, Ontario here. So, yes, absolutely. And it happens everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And, I know last episode we talked about Donald Trump and his unapologetic ways for talking the way that he did about women, but that's a prime example of the chauvinistic society that you're talking about. So have you ever had any or felt any pressure from men, I'm sure at the bars and things like that, and how did you deal with that?
Oh yeah, so the bar days, yeah, of course, and just like Brandon said, they'd come up to you, tell you you're beautiful, but then wouldn't leave.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of the times we use I have a boyfriend as an excuse to just get them away from us. Sure. Sometimes they don't leave, and sometimes they do. You recognize the respectable ones that say, okay, well, just want to let you know you're beautiful, so have a good night. Yeah. And then there's the ones, again, that say, I don't care, where is he? He's not here. Sure. So why isn't he here? If he's your boyfriend, why isn't he here?
Pretty creepy, right?
So creepy.
Yeah.
And then another thing, it is a little bit of a gray area, I have been touched by it, but what I want to tell women is it could be somebody you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be a stranger.
Sure.
I'll give a brief little scenario. It was, someone that I was in a relationship with.
Really?
That I was sexually assaulted by.
Wow.
And, at that point, it was, during a breakup and whatever happened, and he snapped. And there was like that clear gaze in his eyes where it just wasn't him anymore.
Really?
So, and I don't know if this is it. At the time, Oprah was really big, and she would do a lot of shows about sexual assault.
Yeah.
And I just remember her voice in my head saying, you have to become kind of what they are at that moment. So you have to freeze with them, and you have to become on their level. So
did you snap too?
I it's not that I snapped.
Yeah.
I went, instead of me trying to fight, I went down to his level. I tried to look him in the eyes and be like, okay, well, if this is what you want, are you sure this is what you want? And you know what? If you really love me, you'll wait. Did it work? Not so much. Okay. But,
Yeah.
And then whatever happened. I waited until he calmed down for me to be able to sneak out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you ended up getting out of it though?
I ended up leaving.
Like, did you end up getting out unscathed, or is that sort of... No. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But
yeah.
I hate to hear that shit. And it sucks. Like, guys feel like when they're in that relationship that women become their property, and that's not the way to look. This is bullshit. 100%. This is a fucking terrible way to look at it, because that other person that you're in a relationship with is absolutely a person, not your property. If you look at them as being your possession, you know what? It's not going to work. It's it's disturbing, actually. It can be really disturbing.
You feel trapped.
So women and men, I mean, it does go both ways. We don't want to focus on just one here, but one more so than the other, it's just the stats. So it's really important that your partner respects you and wants to see you rise up in the world without kind of suppressing you and thinking that they can just treat you the way that they want. And that's something that I really believe. Do you agree with that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. The possession thing, if you're starting to see that sign of possessive behavior, I would say run.
Well, a lot of the time, they show these possessive behaviors right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it only gets worse through time.
Sure.
But they show you these signs right from the get-go. And a lot of women, and including myself, choose to ignore.
Okay.
Or maybe even choose to try to, I can change him.
Mm-hmm. The questions I would ask you, for everyone out there then, like, what are the signs? Like, tell me, like, what does a possessive guy do? Because,
Okay, I'll give you a couple of
tell
examples.
people, so they know.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
If a guy doesn't like any of your friends.
That's
okay.
That's one.
Just wants you all to himself.
Wants you all to himself.
Okay.
And finds a flaw in everything, or in everyone that has befriended you.
Sure.
Another one, when you try to build new relationships, I'm, doing my line of work, I'm a very personable person. I talk to people. I like making friends. I like meeting new people and, developing friendships with them. I find nothing wrong with that. But when it's, what do you need to be friends with that person for? What are they going to do for you?
Sure.
Another one is, let's say, this is a big one. And I hear it a lot from girls all the time. When you've planned on doing something with your girlfriends all week long.
This is a big one for sure. I know where you're going with
all
this.
All week long.
Yeah.
And this plan has been set for Saturday night. Well, Saturday night comes around, and all of a sudden you're fighting about something.
Sure.
Anything. It could be anything. All of a sudden there's an argument. And it's
want
about an hour before you're supposed to leave.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, first of all, you don't feel like going anymore because you're in a pissy mood.
Sure.
Second of all, you don't want to leave your significant other because then you're going to be thinking about them the whole time and how are they going to be when you get home.
Absolutely.
Or third, you just feel bad and you don't want to leave. You want to sit there and console. So
either way, you're trapped.
Either way, you're trapped.
And it can be sticky because I remember in previous relationships, and it all really stems down to insecurity on my part.
Definitely.
Is if really, if I didn't trust the person I was with, I wouldn't want them going out because I would be scared of what could potentially happen and what they were capable of.
You shouldn't be with them if you don't.
And that's right. But I thought, you know, and even being younger, it's just like it was always an insecurity thing, and that's why I kind of took a step back for the last year and a half away from relationships and did a lot of the personal development I did. So that the next person I'm with, it's just like, you know what, you have your life, I have my life. Let's support each other. You support each other in your dreams.
Yeah.
There's no need to fight over the stupid shit.
No.
Life's too short, man. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'm a person too that I get over things really quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with not being so emotional. But I don't know why, but my last 2 long-term relationships, the man has always been a little bit more emotional than me. And it's been it gets hard to deal with.
Yeah. That seems to me like you'd be someone that's really chill to date.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of guys would appreciate that. You just have attracted some people that maybe are...
Well, I feel like too, now that I look back at it, I feel like I was trying to save them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the nurturing part of me, of just naturally being a woman.
Sure.
I want to nurture. My mom was a nurturer. My mom and dad are still together.
Sure.
You know, and they nurtured each other, and that's all I have. That's what I see, and that's what I want to give.
Yeah.
So for me to find somebody that needs nurturing, I almost feel like, okay, well, now I have a purpose. Great. You know, I can nurture you until you're you know, this perfect man. But really, realistically, they're not your child.
No.
They're supposed to be your partner.
Right.
It's
100%.
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't get any of the nurturing back. It would always be, and that's where I would snap, where it was like,
stop fucking pouting and
stop.
I'm your lady, you know.
I'm your lady.
Yeah, take care of me.
Grow some balls.
Yeah.
And take care of me.
Sure, absolutely.
Because I'm taking care of you in more ways than one, and I'm giving you my all. I deserve it back.
You do, 100%, and it's great that you recognize that. Because a lot of women, if you're listening, they're probably in similar situations right now and don't have that strength to leave and pick up and walk away when they know that it's wrong for them. Maybe they do feel like he's going to change. And I am all for change if the person wants to change, but you cannot change someone. It is up to that individual.
That's right.
Yes, I cannot say it better.
Yeah.
Better than that.
And, you know, I'm not going to take away from past relationships that I've been through, because I've seen change in these men, and it was just like so little, and it took so long.
Just to be clear, what's little?
There you go.
We got through some sex in here. It is a sex joke.
Right?
Yeah.
You got something out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, it took so long for this change to happen that you just wait, and then you just get tired of waiting. And again, they can change, and they were changing, and I don't. It's not that I want to change anyone,
Sure.
and I know women don't want to change
Yeah.
men, but that's the compromise situation, right? So I compromised and I changed for you.
Yeah.
I need some compromise back.
100%.
And I need some
Which is so true.
give and take.
Yeah.
You know, and I just felt like I was giving and giving and giving, and there was nothing reciprocated.
Sure.
You know, the little things, fine. Like the everyday life was okay.
Yeah.
But it was the bigger picture.
But the bigger moments.
Bigger moments.
Yeah.
Like really big moments that made such huge impacts that, and again, I get over things really quickly, so I was able to move on from these moments, but they stay with you.
Yeah, sure.
They stay with you.
Yeah.
And then one day something big happens, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done. It was like the last string, last
Sure.
straw, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
It was over.
It's one of those kind of forgive, but you can't really
It's
forgive.
like an aha moment,
Yeah.
you know? And I had a whole bunch of aha moments, but I chose to, you know, let them go because that's what a relationship is, right?
One of the most crazy philosophies or sayings that my dad ever said was, you know, you can chop at a tree as much as you want.
Sure.
Eventually, the one last chop, it's gonna
It's
take
gonna be-
it down, right? No matter what.
That's
So
right.
it's the same as
Yeah.
a person.
I
I mean, you
agree.
can
That's
you can do whatever you want to a person. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not what I meant, but I mean,
Yeah. No.
at the same time, you have to respect.
I'm glad to hear
Respect the person, respect the person,
Yeah.
and at the same time, everything you do, no
Mhm.
matter how you phrase it, you apologize, whatever. Like when you're in a relationship, everything you do,
Everything.
the person's gonna remember that.
Yeah.
So eventually, too much is too much.
You know, there was
or,
moments
something
where
happens.
the little stuff where I'm not, again, you know, obviously as a woman I'm emotional, and there are points in time where I'm going to be emotional, but the moments that I remember in this relationship that are bad